blood.
Well, hello, party people. Welcome to NRW. I'm your host here today, Rob the Movie Guy, and I thank you very much for joining me here today because today I am very excited to get into this review here with you for my favorite Marky Mark movie of all time. I am not joking when I say this here. This is my favorite Marky Mark movie of all time. I understand that Mark Wahlberg has done a lot of great films out there, some which are going to be better than this movie here, but I don't care. This is my favorite here. This is for a film that came out back in August of 2005, so this month marks the 15-year anniversary for Four Brothers. Now, before I get into my thoughts here, let's roll the trailer here real quick.
Evelyn Mercer, the greatest mother four degenerates ever had.
What makes a brother?
Good to see you.
You gonna stick around a little while this time?
Thinking about it, Ma.
It's more than the color of your skin.
I'm your Uncle Bobby.
You're white.
Your grandma, she adopted me and Uncle Jack like she did your daddy.
It's the people you call family.
She only came across 4 delinquents so far gone she couldn't find anyone to take them in. So she did.
Try one more time.
Get him, Jerry. Yeah, get him, Jerry.
God forgive you.
Because some bonds are stronger than blood.
No sins of man will go unpunished.
Amen.
The brothers gonna work it out.
She's the only woman that ever gave a damn. The least we can do is go bang on a few doors.
Be careful with my baby. What do I get? Here you go, sweetheart. Poke him with that.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
From director John Singleton.
This doesn't add up. He's already got the money.
There was no gang shooting, there was an execution. They set Mom up, they set her up.
Why would somebody hire a killer to shoot Mom?
From the streets where they grew up.
What's the plan, Bobby?
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always wing it.
We're gonna get killed. What you mean, we, white boy?
Excuse me. I got the rock now. My mother was shot across the street. I'm looking for a witness. Why you think cops ain't arrest nobody? Y'all fools been played.
To the heights of corruption.
I can't help you.
All I wanted was a name. It's gonna make me turn you into the gingerbread man now.
The truth comes with a price.
Keep knocking on the devil's door long enough, somebody gonna answer you.
Jack!
Y'all just gonna shoot up the whole town because y'all mad?
Why not?
Who are you protecting?
Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, Andre Benjamin, Garrett Hedlund.
Just want to talk to him.
My brother.
These are my brothers.
Paramount Pictures presents
We still family, right?
We're a real family.
Four Brothers.
I just wanted to talk!
Let's go talk to him now.
And there you have it. Now, the trailer, I don't think is a very well put together trailer here because it almost seems kind of cheap on how they are trying to create this narrative here for what the plot is about here. But although it does a good job in establishing what the plot is, which is pretty much self-explanatory from what you saw in the trailer, the Four Brothers' mother has been murdered. They want to know who had done it and why, and then get revenge. That's pretty much it right there. I was debating on whether or not if I should go into details about this plot here, because when I was watching the movie back in theaters in 2005, I was very happy to not know a lot of details about the plot, because as certain things start to unravel here and you make those discoveries along with the brothers here, it almost has that same impact as it does with the brothers, where you're like, holy shit, really? And I remember, I'll never forget this here. Certain things that happened in the movie here, the reaction from the crowd, and it wasn't a very big packed theater, but it was, you definitely can feel the vibe in the room where, and I'm not joking when I say, because I remember to this day, where one lady was like, oh, that fucking bitch, are you fucking serious? Really? And I was like, holy shit. So it definitely got some people that I was with in the theater invested here. So, and when you see the film, I'm hoping you guys get the same reaction, because I definitely got that reaction as well too. I certainly didn't call out to the screen like that lady did, but it was definitely that same reaction to that degree there. But I will avoid getting to certain spoilers here, because I think it's best for you to discover that along the way here. So what I will be focusing on is really just mainly the things that I love about the movie and some of the things I didn't like about the film, because there are some major flaws in this movie here. But again, I'll get into that in this review here. So as far as the things I love about the movie, I'm going to say this right off the bat here, as you already know from the beginning of the movie, Mark Wahlberg. I absolutely love this man, and he was so fucking awesome in this movie here. And I love everybody else in the movie as well. Pretty much the entire cast, I have to say, was pretty flawless here, including Mr. Andre 3000 himself, Andre Benjamin, who was really, really good in the movie here. Now, when I first saw that he was in the movie, back when the film came out in August 2005, I was kind of hesitant about his acting abilities here, because I wasn't sure if he was ever going to be able to carry himself well enough with a lot of the other actors here who have been established, who've been acting for a number of years. Because at that point, I've already seen Tyrese act before, especially with Baby Boy and Too Fast, Too Furious here. So I knew he could carry himself well on the screen with other actors here. But Andre 3000, I was a little concerned about here. But I'm very happy to say that he was actually really, really good in the movie here. In fact, he was a lot better than I even anticipated here. So I give him a lot of credit for doing his due diligence here and getting the acting chops up to par here for the film. That was because there was definitely a lot of emotional scenes here that were required from everybody here, and Andre does a really good job in conveying that there. So I thought he was fantastic here. Now, of course, I mentioned Tyrese Gibson, who plays one of the brothers here, and you also have Garrett Hedlund here, who plays the youngest brother here. And like I said, all these four actors are fantastic here. And when you see them interact with one another, you certainly do believe that they have a relationship with one another here. Now, they definitely do establish certain things about each of those characters there. There's a little bit of exposition about all the brothers here, but not a lot is revealed about them, other than the fact that they've all come from a broken background, and they were considered the worst of the worst in the foster system here. And the one person who was willing to take them in was their mother, Evelyn Mercer, who adopted all four brothers here and then raised them to be pretty much upstanding, well, as upstanding as you can get them to be here. But again, you don't see too much about the full background here. It's more or less just kind of like exposition from characters. And I actually thought the expositions in the film here to talk about certain events and talk about certain characters here was done very effectively here. Now, another thing I'm going to point out here too is the mother, played by, and I'm going to butcher her name here, I think it's pronounced Fionnuala Flanagan. She plays Evelyn Mercer, their mother, and although she's not in the movie very much, you definitely feel the impact that she has with all the characters here and the people in the community here. That you can see that a lot of people do respect her, do value her, and you can see that she looks out for the better for the children in the community there. So you see that this woman is really well respected here, and I thought they really did a good job in establishing that. So that way, when you see the fact that she dies and how the brothers react and why they're so why it's important for them to find out who had done this to her and why they take them out, and we got to take them out too. It makes sense for the sake of the story here. I will also point out here too that you do see that Terrence Howard's in the movie as well too. I thought he was great in the movie here too, although I don't think he was the best part about the movie, but he definitely does a good job and working well with the other actors here, because you definitely see that these guys do have a history between him and the four brothers here. And although they're in pretty much opposite spectrums here, as far as where Howard is a police officer or a detective, I should say, and the other four brothers, they've had issues with the laws here and there. You kind of see that kind of a difference there between them in terms of where they stand, but they do have respect for one another here because they do come from the same neighborhood and they've grown up with each other throughout the years there. I will also point out here too that one of the best things about the movie here is the villain, played by the actor Chiwetel Ejiofor. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He is fucking awesome as the villain here. And the moment he walks into the room, you don't really get a full shot of him. It's kind of like you kind of get this back angle, this back shot of him, where he's talking to his lackeys here, and you don't see his full face here. It's pretty much just like he's almost like a mystery at first, and then slowly but surely you start to reveal him little by little. And I thought that the director, and John Singleton, who directed this movie here, he does a really good job in establishing the tone here for each of these characters here to kind of set the mood of what to be expecting down the line here. And I gotta say, man, like I said, the villain here, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, I believe his character's name is Victor Sweet. That guy is fucking awesome. He is such a despicable character. Like, you really don't like the guy, and he really sets a tone on that. And he puts a lot of these people around him in really uncomfortable situations. And because he has such power that he gets away with so much, there's really not a lot of people who are willing to stand up to him to put an end to it that here. So that's also something that you see established pretty early on that I thought was very important for you to see, like, holy shit, this guy is a big problem here. And like I said, Chiwetel is awesome in the movie here, and I became a fan of his work since I saw that movie there. Now, another thing I'm also going to point out here too, like I mentioned before with director John Singleton, who he decided to take a tone here with approaching with a Western style here, and also kind of like a 70s revenge vibe to it here. It kind of had a little bit of elements of like Death Wish, and you also have a lot of like John Wayne Western setups here. I really thought he does a good job in getting that those two type of genres here mixed into this film here. And the fucking soundtrack, oh god, I love the soundtrack here to this movie. Absolutely phenomenal there. So there's a lot that I can go on and on about this movie here, because there's really so much to appreciate about the film here. Certain little things here and there that you pick up on with when these characters are saying certain things. That's why it's really important that I think people pay attention to what's going on, because certain little comments that they make here and there gives you an impression of what the other person is like that they're talking about here, with a little of the minor expositions that's done here and there. One thing I'm also going to point out here too. Now, this might be a little bit of a difficult topic to kind of really get into, and I'm certainly not going to get too much into it here. But in this movie, there's definitely a lot of like racial stereotypes here, where, you know, in the movie you see that Sofia Vergara plays the girlfriend to Angel Mercer, played by Tyrese Gibson here. She's presented as this very stereotypical Latina crazy woman here, and Mark Wahlberg's character makes a lot of stereotypical jokes. We're calling her La Vida Loca, and, you know, a bunch of other stuff. You know, do you hear me speak Spanish to you? And because she yells at him in Spanish. So there's a lot of that going on in the movie there. And I remember at the time when I was watching the film, it never occurred to me that this was, you know, like, this is a stereotype. How dare you portray this woman to be this way? She doesn't serve. That's not how you're supposed to portray them. Because part of the reason why I didn't feel that was because I remember thinking, like, I've met women like that. And I'm not, with me direct, I've never had a woman like that, but I have seen women like that in real life. So it wasn't too far-fetched here. But I definitely think that John Singleton kept that in line there, and not really crossing line to make it too stereotype here. Because granted, there are some women that are like that, but especially Latin women. I've seen women that behave like that here too. But overall, I thought that Sofia Vergara in the movie did a really good job, and I actually did like her a lot in the movie here. But keep watching when you watch the movie, there's a lot more to her that you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? But as you watch the film, you'll understand what I mean by that. Another thing I'm also going to point out here too with this film here is that there is you definitely see that, you know, Evelyn Mercer, their mother, who is a white woman here, has adopted 2 white boys and 2 black boys here, and raised them all as her own children. So of course now you have the brothers that have grown up with each other, and they get along with each other very. There's distinctive personalities, so they're not all exactly the same. You know, you have Jeremiah, played by Andre 3000, he's a little more of the straight man, and you have Angel Mercer, played by Tyrese Gibson, who's kind of like the ladies' man. He's also a former Marine as well. And then you have Bobby Mercer, who's kind of the loner of the group here, and kind of keeps to himself, and he has this pretty much alpha male attitude. In a lot of ways, kind of like the John Wayne of the group here. And of course, you have Garrett Hedlund, who plays a younger brother, Jack Mercer. He is the most troubled of the 4 there, who had a really rough childhood, and he's also the punk rocker, the rocker of the group, if you will. So everyone has a bit of their own distinctive personalities here. But what I was trying to get into with it was this: in the movie, there's a part that you have the 3 brothers, not Jeremiah, played by Andre 3000, but you have the 3 brothers here confronting somebody about a particular scenario here that involved someone that they know very, very well. And there happens to be a line there where Mark Wahlberg drops the NBomb in front of his brother, played by Tyrese Gibson, and his younger brother, played by Garrett Hedlund here. And there's another actor they're all confronting here that's black, and they're all he's surrounded by his family, who are all black as well too. And in him dropping the NBomb here, I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, did he really just say that? But no one flinched. Tyrese didn't flinch. There was John Singleton is the director. He's black. And I understand the context behind that. And maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that when you see that scenario to how it unraveled there was something that made me think that, well, maybe because they grew up together, they know each other so well, and they understand the language and the context behind him saying that there. It doesn't mean that to them. And that's kind of where I was thinking that this had come from here, for him to say the things that he said in that manner there, in that context, and especially in that scene there. It made me realize maybe it's just, just them talking amongst themselves, and they just happen to be in a public place here while they said that. And I don't know if anyone took offense to it. I never heard anything about that in the film's release. I never heard anything about someone mentioning that. When Mark Wahlberg dropped the N-bomb here, he's talking to his brother and this other black actor over here, and no one seemed to flinch. I never heard any rumblings about that at all whatsoever here. But I'm wondering now, in this day and nature, in this political climate that we're in, and this whole cancel culture that we live in, if the film like this would work in this day here. And it's very difficult to say if it will or not here, because I remember watching that, and when I first heard that, I was like, holy shit. No one said anything, because there was, in the theater that I was in, there were some black people there, and I don't recall anyone saying like, hey, yo, why did he say that? And there was nothing like that. Like I said, people were invested in the movie there, so I was a little surprised with that there. But now, as far as the negatives are concerned here, I will say this here. There are certain things that happen there that I'm just like, come on, guys, that really can't happen there. There's a shootout that occurs in the movie there, and meanwhile, everyone's shooting, and somehow the main characters are not getting any bullets in them there. So that kind of stuff does happen there. But again, the story I thought was done was told so effectively here that I was willing to look past that there. And it might be a very naive different thing for me to say here, but for the style of film that John Singleton approached to take this approach here, I thought it fit very well for that movie, because again, in the film, violence is the ends of all means. I'm going to kill this guy to get revenge on my mother for killing my mom, and everything's going to be okay. And you certainly do have that set in this movie here. And I thought they did a really good job in knowing the type of film that they were, and they're not making any. They're not trying to take it too serious here. And then when it was serious, when it was meant to be serious, they do a good job establishing that. And when they have these goofy moments there, it seems very authentic. It seems very genuine there. And like I said, that's to the credit of all the actors and everyone else in the film here that made this very, very believable, at least in my eyes here. So those are my overall thoughts here. Now, I didn't get too much into the negatives here because, again, a lot of the things that I kind of wanted to get into would actually go into spoiled territory here, and I don't want to reveal certain things that will ruin the experience for your first time viewing here. So when you watch the film, let me know what you guys think here. Did you guys like the film? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just okay? Did you love it like I did? And if you have seen the film, let me know what you guys think as well too. And while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there as well too, and hit that notification button there as well, so that way you know what other videos we have coming down the pipeline here. And also help us reach to our goals here to get into 1,000 subscribers. I have noticed that the numbers have slightly gone up here, so I really appreciate for all the new subscribers out there that have subscribed to this channel here. And while you're here, make sure you also share and like the video as well too, to help us reach to our goal. And while you're here, check out our social media account here too. Check out our social media account here on Facebook and on Instagram, simply at New Release Wednesdays, and on Twitter, just at the NRW. You can follow myself here on my social media account at Instagram, Rob_Medina0585, and on Twitter, RobMedina0585, and on Facebook, simply just Rob the Movie Guy here. And until next, everybody there, stay safe out there, enjoy your day, and cheers.